Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Ridge snaps and Liam denies death. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for April 21st to 25th, 2025, Ridge Forrester will lose it with the women in his life, while Liam Spencer is completely in denial about dying. Thank you for your patience. We're only doing weekly spoilers today because Bold and Beautiful has been releasing its spoilers later and later each week, taking longer than the other soap operas. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, dramatic fashion show and special visitors. That being stated, Season 38, Episode 149 airs on Monday, April 21st. And when the Forrester Creations fashion show begins, we will begin by shifting our focus from certain death to designer clothes. Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, our special guests, are seated in the front row. Influencer Markel Washington is also seated in the front row. Additionally, we have Christine Williams from Genoa City's Young and the Restless. In case you were unaware, she is a female lawyer on therefore, I'm not really sure what her goal is. Additionally, she is the girlfriend of rock artist Danny Ramalotti, therefore it's possible that she is searching for a dress for a special occasion with her boyfriend. And Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, is really delighted to see Spencer and Heidi there and personally welcomes them backstage. Brooke vs. Taylor, backstage arguments and storage room battle. Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes are fighting over the seating arrangements. You would assume that neither of them would be interested, but perhaps they are arguing about Ridge's seating arrangement since Brooke, wants him to be the center of attention. This results in a heated dispute. And this week, things between these two are about to get even worse. They will both get into a lot of trouble because of it. The conflict between Taylor and Brooke intensifies on Tuesday, April 22nd, in episode 150 of season 38. Additionally, they will end up being imprisoned together in a storage space. Thus, this is somewhat amusing. Taylor maintains that she did not intentionally lock them in there, despite Brooke's insistence that it was her responsibility. Backstage, Taylor discovered Brooke wearing the same tiny robe once more. We must therefore presume that she is wearing the same little, thin underwear underneath it. I'm not sure if Brooke's bedroom is featured in this fashion show, otherwise Taylor might be thinking that Brooke is attempting to tempt Ridge once more by flinging her scantily dressed body at him. Additionally, I believe Taylor is simply fed up with Brooke using sex as a weapon. In this case, I'm not necessarily on Taylor's side or Brooke's. They should both leave Ridge since he isn't worth it, in my opinion. As a result, they will be locked in this room, which could hinder the fashion show, particularly if Brooke was supposed to be on stage. Liam's diagnosis, the distressing news and Steffy's emotional toll. Bold and the Beautiful Season 38, Episode 151, airs on Wednesday, April 23rd. And Steffy and Finn are chatting about Liam's newest scans. Steffy was preparing the lighting and audio for Liam and Kelly Spencer's small, secret father-daughter dance in their living room when we last saw them on Friday. Because it is entirely legal for Liam to have checked himself out of the hospital against medical advice, AMA. It's not a prison. Even if you're bleeding profusely, you can leave the hospital. You have complete permission to do it. As a free individual, it is your right. Steffy worries, according to spoilers. Anyway, we're going back to the gloom and doom when Finn began contacting her with this bad news about Liam. And after the fashion presentation, Steffy will receive this terrible, deadly news. In her conversation with Finn, Steffy expresses her concern about how Liam should be informed of his impending death. She might also be concerned that he will do something similar to what he did in the hospital, which was to simply ignore, not hear, or shut it out, that is, to run out of the hospital as the physicians were pleading with him not to leave. Steffy is suffering greatly as a result of all the feelings around Liam's predicament. She is obviously worried that Kelly will lose her father. Steffy has had feelings for Liam for a long time, Despite the fact that their relationship is no longer passionate, she has loved him for years. She married him more than once because she cared about him, but it's co-parenting love and respect. Therefore, Steffy finds it incomprehensible that Liam might be permanently removed from her life. Spoilers for Liam Spencer and Ridge Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers for Liam Spencer and Ridge Forrester in Bold and the Beautiful. May sweep start, Steffy assumes leadership and Liam denies. The 152nd episode of Season 38 airs on Thursday, April 24th. Additionally, the May sweeps officially begin today. Things are going to get really crazy and out of control over the next few weeks. Liam's death, the drama surrounding Luna Nozawa, Daphne Rose's scheme to kidnap Carter Walton, and Hope Logan's question, "Oh, why haven't I seen Liam in weeks?" So also on Thursday, Steffy tells Finn that she should be the one to notify Liam that he has an incurable brain tumor. It's medical news now. She should obviously break the news because she is the CEO of a fashion firm, but I believe Steffy believes Liam would be more receptive to it if she did it instead of Finn, Grace Buckingham, or Bridget Forrester. Or this neuro team on Bold and the Beautiful, which we haven't seen before. And Steffy tells Finn that it will happen that way because Liam needs to hear it from her. Liam will still not respond well, though. When he learns that he is dying, he is completely stunned. Liam adamantly rejects this death sentence as Steffy apparently informs him. That's exactly what he tells them. Ridge's anger, enforcing the law alongside Brooke and Taylor. On Friday, April 25th, episode 153 of the current season, we will conclude. Liam is just in disbelief. Despite his struggles with his diagnosis, he is prepared to fight it till the end. He wants to explore all of his alternatives for treatment, which is a good thing since it's better than just declaring, "I don't accept it," without thinking. Back at Forrester Creations, Ridge gets into a fight with Taylor and Brooke because it appears like he is simply annoyed. What happened with them at the fashion show has irritated him, and I believe Ridge may be sick of them arguing and tugging at him like it's a tug of war. Just stop causing trouble for Taylor, Rebecca Budig, Ridge would order Brooke to do. I will not be returning to you. Don't appear in your underwear. It won't happen. He might also tell Taylor, stop being aggressive. I won't abandon you. Both of you must lower it by roughly 5 notches. Taylor and I are together. Brooke, I'm not with you. I want it to end. Perhaps Brooke will find solace from her heartache when Jack Wagner returns on June 13th in the role of Nick. Perhaps she will finally step back from everything. But, given that Ridge has always been envious of his brother, particularly when he was with Brooke on Bold and the Beautiful, I can't help but worry whether Nick's homecoming would upset Ridge. There are indications that Liam Spencer's brain tumor diagnosis may have been a mix-up, which might lead to a shocking revelation. Is Liam Spencer's diagnosis of a deadly brain tumor the result of a medical error? Fans have picked up on hints that point to a potentially unexpected turn of events that could spare the Spencer heir. Is a soap opera mystery developing in light of Liam's brain tumor diagnosis on? That alleged terminal diagnosis that looms large over Liam Spencer? There's something suspicious about those test results, therefore I'm calling it now. My soap radar went into overdrive when Dr. Grace Buckingham broke the heartbreaking news that Liam Spencer had an incurable brain tumor. What about that enigmatic call to confirm the diagnosis? If I've ever seen it, it's classic foreshadowing. And believe me when I say that I can spot a medical mix-up plotline from a mile away after decades of watching daytime soap. The diagnosis that shocked Los Angeles. Let's go back to early April, when Liam passed out following that furious dispute with his father, Bill Spencer. Doctors first discovered a brain bleed, which was frightening enough, but then they revealed a deadly brain mass that could not be operated on. It was confirmed by both Dr. Grace and Dr. Bridget Forrester. Really detailed. Very formal. I think it's just too clean-cut for a soap opera. The entire situation seems strangely scripted. And when did Grace call to confirm the outcome? Hurry up. If that's not setting up a big announcement that the scans got reversed or the lab made a mistake, I don't know what is. The reason behind this misdiagnosis twist. First off, there is absolutely no proof that Scott Clifton is quitting the show. Not at all. Zilch. Not at all. Also. Spoilers, the fashion show lockdown between Taylor and Brooke transforms enraged rivals into reluctant confidants. Second, do you recall the medical miracle that Finn and Eric performed in 2023? The Forresters like their medical innovations that defy death. Third, there is the legacy figure Liam Spencer. Dollar Bill son. They won't use something as commonplace as a brain tumor to eradicate him. This is the land of convenient medical marvels, back from the death plots, and malevolent twins. Evidence is growing. While Steffy is busy delivering the heartbreaking news and everyone's bracing for the worst, I'm monitoring Grace's face during that phone conversation scene. The hardly perceptible hesitation? The faint furrow on her forehead? This information will be important later, is the epitome of soap opera acting. Furthermore, isn't it intriguing that the test results haven't been displayed on the screen yet? Only medical professionals discussing them? In soap world, that's virtually screaming these results belong to someone else. Afterward, what happens? What did I predict? When it looks like there is no hope left, Steffy will support Liam, and Bill will use his millions to look for new cures. Bam! Dr. Grace will interrupt with the startling announcement, a horrible error has occurred. Your test results weren't like that. Or perhaps they'll find a groundbreaking method. Or a miracle medication. Or, my own favorite soap opera cliché, the tumor will go away on its own for reasons that science cannot explain. Also. Spoilers, will Hope's world be destroyed by Liam Spencer's life-altering recovery and his new priorities? I'd wager my soap collection that Liam won't be leaving, no matter what. At least not forever. The heartfelt farewells and confessions on the deathbed? Only dramatic preludes to the miraculous recovery that is unavoidable. However, that's what makes so alluring, isn't it? We are drawn in day after day by the suspenseful drama, the implausible possibilities, and the emotional roller coaster. Liam fights his destiny after Brooke is busted by Taylor. According to next week's spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester is reacting strongly to Liam Spencer's death sentence. Additionally, the most recent Forrester Creations fashion show included some amazing guest stars. Additionally, Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, engaged in another intense and passionate battle. For the week of April 21st, we have a lot to discuss. Liam's startling discovery, refusing to follow medical advice and leaving the hospital. Liam Spencer checked himself out of the hospital as this past week's episode of Bold and the Beautiful came to an end. In the comments section, someone asked me why they didn't stop him. Why did they allow that to occur? AMA stands for Against Medical Advice. Even if the doctors advise against leaving, anyone in the hospital is free to stand up and leave. You are free to go unless they obtain a court order to stop you. Even if they know you're going to leave and die, even if it's a poor idea. Liam was therefore capable of doing what he did. Humans do it. It's not very intelligent, but it does happen. Next week's #Bold and Beautiful, Taylor corners Brooke, Liam defends death sentence. Naturally, Doctors Bridget Forrester and Grace Buckingham attempted to stop him. It didn't help that they were begging Liam Spencer to stay. He was adamant about attending Kelly Spencer's father-daughter dance. Grace and Bridget broke the startling news of Liam's most recent scans to Finn, Tanner Novlin, when he arrived at the hospital. Finn was therefore taken aback to discover that Liam had a sizable brain mass. It is lethal and unusable. Liam's problems were not brought on by the brain bleed, rather, it was a sign of an underlying, unidentified illness. That obviously frightened Bridget, Finn, and Grace. This tumor is the cause of his lightheadedness and distorted vision at Bill Spencer's. And it's killing Liam. Finn is utterly taken aback. He repeatedly attempted to call and message Liam Spencer on Friday of last week. Finn had to inform him that something was amiss and return him to the hospital. Finn texted Steffy Forrester after he tried multiple times and didn't receive a response from Liam. Finn broke the devastating news of Liam's condition to her. Liam's last dance and HIPAA issues. Now that I think about it, Finn probably violated HIPAA privacy laws by telling her about the secret Liam was harboring. I will argue, though, that Steffy might have signed one of the HIPAA release papers if he is Liam's emergency contact. It's likely that you have done this. I signed one to allow my doctor to share any information regarding my test results with my spouse. It's rather typical. As Steffy was playing music to sort of set up a small house dance for Liam and Kelly, everything went according to plan. Liam arrived too late to accompany Kelly to her dance, which is why Liam was having a hard time staying upright. I mentioned that I feared he would faint during the dance. He looks awful, and they didn't even make it to the dance. On Monday's program, we'll see if he truly passes out. Although Liam is barely standing, he attempted to make it appear like a dance motion. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy's response and Liam's denial. Finn returns to the Malibu beach mansion on Bold and the Beautiful the following week. Steffy is crying as he speaks to her. When Finn shares these alarming details from the most recent scans with Steffy, Liam is obviously not present. Steffy is likewise taken aback because she had assumed Liam was improving. Steffy had heard that things were getting better when she last visited him at the hospital. They had a promising appearance. Finn also had that thinking. They had all been informed, however, that they were awaiting the most recent test results and scans. Naturally, a neurological team is working on the case that is hidden from us. These scans were also extremely concerning. For Liam, they are a death sentence. Steffy informs Finn that she believes Liam should be informed of this awful news. Since it's medical information, it should typically be provided by a doctor. However, it appears like Steffy will be the one to break the news to him. After Steffy delivers the news, Liam listens and declares he will not accept the death penalty. Is Liam going to die? Dispelling contract speculation and potential plot turns. I will now state that I firmly believe Liam Spencer will not be killed off by Bold and the Beautiful. Unless Scott Clifton is leaving the program, that is. I don't think it will occur. I want to quickly address another point raised in the comments. Some people have insisted that Don Diamont, Bill Spencer, and Scott Clifton having new multi-year contracts. To be clear, this is not the case. An old 2023 article about those two receiving new contracts can be found in Soaps in Depth and Soap Digest. However, it's being distributed as if it were brand new. A clickbait website claims that something is fresh since they didn't do their research, and people are seeing old content and mistakenly believing it to be new. The author of the Eric Forrester death story, who was coerced into writing it, publicly criticized and named the website. Therefore, either check it out or take things like that with a grain of salt. Or ask, and I'll do it. Why would confirm a multi-year deal during a death sentence article is one warning sign. In other words, that is clickbait. They obviously want us to believe that Liam will actually die. He will most likely be saved by an 11th-hour miracle cure. It will resemble the events involving Eric Forrester, John McCook. Eric Forrester was cured by Bridget Forrester and Finn. Therefore, Grace, those two, and the neuro team might discover an experimental method that comes in handy. Drama at the Forrester Creations fashion show, Taylor vs. Brooke and celebrity attendees. Steffy Forrester must put on her professional front next week on Bold and the Beautiful, despite all the tragedy. She must mingle with distinguished visitors at a fashion event for Forrester Creations. Reality stars Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt are among their famous guests. She is now a pop sensation as well. It's lovely to see them, Steffy remarks. Markel Washington, a social media influencer, will also be backstage during the performance. In a Young and the Restless crossover, Eric Forrester tells Christine Williams and Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., that the show will add a bit of magic and mystery. Then there is a lot of turmoil backstage. In the fashion show's dressing room, Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan have yet another heated argument. The temperature rises. The door is slammed by Taylor Hayes. She locks herself in a room with Brooke Logan. She seemed to be quite irritated with Taylor. Additionally, Brooke is wearing a different robe, similar to the one she wore to the CEO's office the previous day. We'll learn if Brooke's attempt to ambush Ridge Forrester in her underpants has angered Taylor. Or it could be more innocent. Perhaps Brooke will walk the catwalk wearing a Brooke's bedroom design. However, the designs I saw on the runway in the promotional video appear to be couture gowns, which are what Ridge creates. Preview of Sweeps Week, Liam's Destiny, Fashion Show Conflicts, and more. When Liam Spencer receives this heartbreaking news the following week, Bold and the Beautiful becomes somewhat depressing. Naturally, Brooke Logan is being cornered by Taylor Hayes. Steffy is also losing it. We have special guests, and so forth. There will be a lot of activity from Thursday, April 24th, when sweeps begin, until the end of May. Brooke adjusted the strap of her dress, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and nerves. She hadn't planned on meeting anyone tonight, let alone him, but the second their eyes locked across the crowded room, something electric surged between them, an unspoken promise that left her skin tingling. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a jawline sharp enough to cut glass and a smile that made her knees weak, the kind of man who carried himself with effortless confidence, his dark eyes smoldering as he took a slow sip of his whiskey, his gaze never leaving hers. The chemistry was undeniable, and before she knew it, they were tangled in conversation, his deep laugh sending shivers down her spine as his fingers brushed against hers, the touch fleeting but loaded with intent. Hours melted away under the haze of music and alcohol, the world narrowing to just the two of them, until he leaned in, his breath warm against her ear as he murmured, "You should come home with me." The invitation was intoxicating, and Brooke didn't hesitate. She wanted him, wanted to feel his hands on her, his body pressed against hers, and as they stumbled into his apartment, the door slamming shut behind them, the air between them crackled with raw desire. His lips crashed onto hers with a hunger that stole her breath, his hands gripping her waist as he backed her against the wall, his touch possessive yet reverent, as if he couldn't decide whether to devour her or worship her. Clothes were discarded in a feverish rush, fabric pooling at their feet as they moved toward the bed, his muscles flexing under her fingertips as she traced the hard planes of his chest, her pulse racing at the sheer power of him. When he finally pushed her onto the mattress, his body covering hers, Brooke gasped at the weight of him, the heat of his skin searing into her as he kissed down her neck, his teeth grazing her collarbone in a way that made her arch against him. Every touch, every whispered word, was deliberate, designed to unravel her, and when he finally slid inside her, Brooke moaned, her nails digging into his back as he moved with a rhythm that left her breathless, the pleasure building with every thrust until she was trembling beneath him, lost in the intensity of their connection. The night blurred into a haze of tangled limbs and whispered promises, the kind of passion that left her aching for more even as dawn crept through the curtains, painting his sleeping form in golden light. And as Brooke lay there, tracing the lines of his tattooed arm draped over her waist, she knew one thing for certain, this wouldn't be the last time.